There is something in your past that you believe God cannot forgive. Something so serious, so heavy that you have already stopped trying. You have resigned yourself. Too late, you tell yourself. Too far gone. Today I'm going to tell you the story of the only human being who was canonized directly by Jesus. No process, no miracles, no time. Jesus declared him a saint in the final hours of his life, when there was nothing left to fix, when everything seemed lost. Jerusalem, year 33. 3 crosses on a hill. 3 men dying. In the middle, Jesus of Nazareth. On either side, 2 criminals. Violent thieves. The kind who robbed roads, attacked caravans, and left bodies behind. Tradition calls the one on the right Dismas, though the Gospels never give his name. That day he is paying for years of violence. Nailed to a cross. The most brutal punishment in the Roman Empire. Reserved for the worst of the worst. Not just to kill you, but to erase you. To humiliate you until your final breath. Dismas has been there for hours. Every breath is torture. To inhale he must push against his shattered feet, lifting his chest against the nails. And he must do this again and again. 4 hours. Until the body finally gives up. The air comes in fragments. Thirst burns his throat. Muscles tear with every attempt to breathe. There is no position without pain. No thought except one. Let this end. And in the middle of all this, with his throat torn and dry, Dismas hears something. Something he never expected. The man in the middle is not cursing. He is forgiving. Dismas hears Jesus say, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." Forgive them. The ones killing him. The ones mocking him. The soldiers gambling for his clothes. And something breaks inside Dismas. He looks at his own hands nailed to the wood. He looks at the hands of Jesus. And for the first time in his life he has no excuses. Because he knows exactly what he has done. He knows why he is there. And this innocent man beside him, this Jesus who did nothing wrong, is forgiving. The other criminal keeps shouting, "If you are the Christ, save yourself and us." But Dismas can't remain silent. And he says, "Do you not even fear God, since you are under the same sentence? We are punished justly because we are receiving what our crimes deserve. But this man has done nothing wrong." For the first time in his life he tells the truth. He stops blaming others. He admits he is there because of his own choices. And then he does the impossible. He turns to Jesus. He asks something that makes no sense to ask when you are dying. "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." He does not ask to come down from the cross. He does not ask for a miracle. He only asks not to be forgotten. That when Jesus arrives where he is going, there might still be a place for him. And Jesus turns toward him. He looks at him. And he says words no one had ever heard before, and no one has heard since. "Truly I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise." Dismas can hardly believe what he just heard. He begins to cry. Not from physical pain. From relief. From gratitude. From something he cannot even name. Today. Jesus said today. And in that moment all the weight he carried for years disappears. Dismas had no time to repair anything. No time to undo the past. He only had those words. And those words were enough. If this video struck you, it's because something in your own story needed to hear it. You are not alone. Subscribe if you want to keep discovering stories that don't soften faith, but live it. And if you know someone who needs to hear this today, share it. Because the story of Dismas is not just history. It is real hope. There is something almost no one notices in this story. Dismas did not know Jesus before that day. He had never followed him. He had never seen his miracles. He had never heard the Sermon on the Mount. He met Jesus while dying. And in the middle of mockery, pain, and complete darkness, he saw what the religious experts could not see, what even the disciples struggled to understand. He saw that the broken man beside him was the king. Priests who studied the scriptures their entire lives did not see it. Disciples who walked with Jesus for 3 years ran away. Peter, who swore he would die for him, denied him 3 times. And a violent thief, with only hours left to live, recognized him. Dismas understood something brutal. God's power is not measured by avoiding suffering. It is measured by how you pass through it. Early Christians called him the saint without a past, only a future. Not the repentant thief. Not the forgiven criminal. The saint without a past. Because the moment Jesus said, "Today you will be with me in paradise," his story stopped being about what he had been. and became about what he now was. And this is what no one tells you about God's forgiveness. God does not ignore your past. He gives you a new identity. You are not the one who messed up and was forgiven. You are a son. You are a saint. You are free. Dismas entered paradise that day not as the forgiven thief. He entered as a saint, as Christ's brother, as a son of God. Think about that. When Dismas entered paradise, the first thing that happened was not judgment. It was an embrace. He did not arrive as the thief Jesus forgave. He arrived as family. The past did not disappear, but it no longer defined him. And now comes the uncomfortable question. What part of your story do you believe God cannot redeem? Seriously, what excuse are you holding on to that Dismas did not use that Friday? Right now, somewhere in the world, someone is praying to Saint Dismas, a prisoner in a cell who believes there is no way out, a mother who had an abortion 20 years ago and still cannot forgive herself, a father who abandoned his children and now they will not speak to him, someone who did something in secret that no one knows, and it eats them alive every day, and they are praying to a thief, a criminal, someone who arrived at the end with no time to fix anything, because if God received him, maybe he will receive them too. His feast day is March 25th, during Lent, preparing us to remember that on the cross, Jesus did not only die, he changed the rules of the game. The story of Dismas does not end with a moral lesson. It ends with a decision. Now that you know it, you have two options. Option 1. Keep telling yourself your case is different, that your sins are worse, that it worked for Dismas, but not for you, that it is already too late. Option 2. Let go of the excuses. Acknowledge what you have done. Look at Jesus and ask him to remember you. Not when you are better. Not when you deserve it. No. Dismas had hours. You have today. He died free. He died forgiven. He died a saint. This video moved you? Tell me in the comments. What other saint would you like us to talk about? Is there something in your life you need help with? Write it. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, share it. Because maybe today is their Good Friday, and they need to know there is still time. May Saint Dismas intercede for you. See you in the next story.